Join us each week for some booze-free banter about life without booze.
If you're entertaining the idea of cutting back your booze by a day, a week, a month, or for the rest of your life, we would love for you to tune in.
Buckle up and come along for a ride that may just change your life. Please note that some of the conversations we have may be triggering. Please reach out to your local support service in Australia. That's Lifeline 131114. Psst, hey, Meso.
Psst, hey, Breezer.
Did you know our podcast partner, Altina, have a sensational product called Sangria?
Is this it?
That is it. It is a mixture of vibrant ruby bubbles inspired by their love of all things Spanish.
Española.
It's available via their website, www.altinadrinks.com. We froth over Sangria, don't we, Meso?
We really do. And do you know they're actually doing a little bit of mulled wine situation going on?
Yes, they
amongst
are.
their little kit. Yum, yum, yum. Beautiful for winter. It's a time.
It's a time. Yep. Get some Sangria / mulled wine into you with Altina.
Thanks, Altina. We love you.
Thank you, Altina.
Hey, Breezer, before we jump into the app, Altina have given the listeners 10% off when they use the Dissy code BFB10. How good is that?
What? So you're telling me our listeners get 10% off the Altina range of drinks using the discount code BFB10 via Altina's website, which is www.altinadrinks.com.
I am. Get in it. Get amongst it.
Get amongst it, babes. Thank you, Altina.
Off. Thanks, Altina. Breezer. Wow.
We've lost it again, haven't we?
We have, which is really appropriate because we've just lost it over our guest we've just had on.
Oh, frothing again. Over not only over Sangria, but over our guest. You go. You introduce her, Meso.
Oh, drool, Al. Oh, goodness me. So it's Al Katelaris. So I nearly butchered her.
I was going to say, that's why I handballed it to you, Meso. You said her surname in the podcast. You've got this, mate. You've got this. What an absolute delight Al is.
Oh, I wish I had her wisdom. She's 26. Was she 26?
Yeah, 26.
Sober. Kicked into her sober journey at 25. Like just a solid 10 years drinking, not 30 like you and I. Oh, that's a bit early, wasn't it?
Plus a few more, mate.
Oh, she's amazing. She's so fun and real and just, oh.
And she inspired me, Meso, because she's obviously 2.5 years in her sobriety journey and I've just hit my 1 year. And, yeah, she says in the potty how it just gets better. And I've heard this often from other people, but every time I hear it, it just cements it even further, even more into my head that this sobriety journey, there's more to look forward to, which I love hearing.
Yes, and she does wholesome stuff. Like she's inspired me to start hiking club here in Melbourne. She's just a joy, and you need to get over onto her Instagram page as well. We'll drop that at the end, but she works for Mamma Mia. She's the social media producer at Mamma Mia, and she's got incredible content. She's a foodie. She's just Droolville.
She's Droolville, isn't she?
We love you, Al, and we can't wait for you guys to get your ears around this episode.
Let's get amongst it, Meso.
Let's do it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, a big, warm, booze-free Bants welcome to social media producer from Australia's biggest women's media company, our favourite, Mamma Mia. She's a passionate, alcohol-free, living, food-loving, healthy lifestyle, hiking and adventure fanatic, travel goddess, dinner party hostess with the mostest. She's a conversation card collector, cold brew lover, owns the best bar cart that we've ever seen. Welcome to Booze Free Bants, Al Katelaris.
Oh my God, you guys, done your research.
Had a deep dive. Well, you've got some amazing content, Al, and we just love deep diving into it. So welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. So
good to be here.
Goody. Now, you've heard the podcast before, so you know that we're just going to throw you straight in the deep end with a shame story.
Yes. Well, I don't actually have a shame story like other people where, you do something embarrassing or you have sex with your ex. Unfortunately, I wish it was that lighthearted for me. But I guess my relationship with alcohol wasn't always fun. And so, yeah, I'll just get straight into it. My shame story was a pretty dark time for me. It was kind of the point where I decided to stop drinking. It was in 2019, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I didn't know where my partner was, and I had no recollection of where he was. This is a previous partner, by the way. We're no longer together, but we could get into that later. And basically I had to call his best friend and kind of piece together the night what happened, and it turned out that I just basically told him to leave the house and kicked him out. And that was a really scary moment for me because I had zero memory of it. It was a complete blackout moment. And when I tried to figure out why I did that, I couldn't actually get a clear answer, and it didn't seem like that there was any answer at all. And then the next morning I decided to go sober.
Yeah,
so yeah, pretty shameful, but I wish it was something as trivial as sleeping with your ex. That would be much better.
So many of these conversations that we have, we just flip out. We turn into people we don't even know when we've got a skin full of booze, don't we? That we're like, that's not even who I am, and just
it's
wig out.
Crazy.
Like, yeah. Sharing. I know that sounds like it would be a difficult one, but a pivotal moment in your life.
Yeah, I mean, I've kind of come to terms with it now, and I think it's good that I did change at that moment. I know a lot of people say that, like, you shouldn't change for someone else and you should change for yourself, but I think I was having so many blackout nights before that nothing was going to actually get me to stop drinking. I actually needed someone else. I had to realize that I was actually hurting someone else, because I think when you're constantly just hurting yourself, you can kind of live with that. But when someone else is involved, it's kind of a wake-up call. So I think, it was good that it happened that way.
Did you break up from that moment?
No, we didn't actually. We continued dating for about 3 months, and it was the most wonderful 3 months of our whole relationship.
Wow.
And then he had to go back to France, unfortunately, because he was actually from France. And then I spent the whole year, we were doing long distance, and I did a lot of self-reflection. I was just focusing on me. I was starting out on my sober journey, and I just felt like this is such a shame that I am this new person and this newfound version of myself, but without the person that actually deserved to experience that. But I think I needed to have that space as well. And then eventually the long distance became a bit too hard for us with COVID and the never-ending border closures. So, we ended up breaking up, and then my current partner came into the picture, and it was really nice to. I feel like I'm just unloading my life, my relationship history, but I can talk about this forever. And it was actually really nice to start a fresh relationship as someone who was sober, because I could kind of be whoever I wanted to be and be the version of myself that I always kind of thought I was, I guess. And they didn't really have any kind of prior knowledge of who I used to be. So it wasn't that I was pretending, but it was kind of like I had a fresh slate, and that was really nice.
Oh, or of us, Frenchie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you look back at your Frenchie and think that's the reason why he came into your life? Perhaps, like, do you look at that as a silver lining, as he came into your chapter, that chapter of your life, and you learnt from him what you learnt, and now you're on this sober journey?
Yeah, I've never really thought about it like that, but looking back, I think that you kind of do have to have a really serious relationship with someone that you really, really care about for you to kind of make that change. Because I've had relationships before, my uni days, my early 20s, with people that, I wasn't fully invested with, and you have drunk nights out, and you have drunk fights, but it doesn't really hit home to you like how scared you would be if you'd lost them. So I think, having a kind of big love like that and having those heartaches kind of, put it in perspective. That's a really nice way to look at it.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
So that was 2019 now. So that's how many years? What's your sober anniversary?
Yeah.
So it's New Year's Eve, which is a nice little way to remember it.
Nice.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that if I could go into a new year dead cold sober, then I can really do anything. I think a lot of people think that New Year's resolutions don't work, but for people like me, I'm very all or nothing. I guess that's why I got into binge drinking in the first place. But
I thought, type of girl.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, go hard or don't drink anything at all. So I thought New Year's Eve was, a better time than any to kind of make a resolution, and it stuck, I guess. yeah, it's been 2 years and 4 months.
Hey, congratulations.
So good.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You mentioned before, Al, about, the fact that you did black out. Would you say that was like the compelling reason why you did stop? And obviously the hurt, you did hurt your partner, but the blackouts, because we can relate, Al, like we were blackout drinkers also. We've lost a lot of our life, like just not remembering stuff.
Oh my God. I have like 2 brain cells left in my head just knocking into each other. Yeah, I definitely had probably about 3 major blackouts where by the last one I was kind of like, okay, this is it. Like I'm going to do something extremely dangerous or something's going to happen to me. If I keep on blacking out, like the Ubers that I got into completely wasted. Like I am so lucky that nothing happened to me in those moments. I went wandering off in Hawaii on a girls' trip by myself and they had to send out the hotel security to come looking for me at 2 a.m. in the streets of Waikiki. And they found me, walking in an alleyway with some really lovely man, honestly just wanted to help me find my hotel. But I couldn't have been, like, I didn't have to be that lucky, like something bad really could have happened to me. And I think, so they were the 2 kind of major blackouts and then obviously the third one where I had no recollection. But yeah, they were kind of just wake-up calls for me in kind of a long line of binge drinking for about 10 years. So been drinking since I was about 14. Sorry, Mum, if you're listening. I always tell her it's 16.
You better first, Mum.
Yeah, not that 2 years makes that much of a difference. I mean, it's still underage. I'm still doing bad damage to my young teenage self. But yeah, I've kind of been underage drinking for about 10 years. And then I think as you get kind of older, I mean, I was still in my early 20s, but as you get older, you just go harder and, you need more to kind of get that hit. Your tolerance goes up. And then I guess those bad blackout nights started to happen a bit more frequently and a bit, the consequences were a bit more intense. So yeah, I kind of decided to make a change on New Year's Eve. And yeah, I haven't had any slip-ups since. It's been the best thing I've ever done.
Did your ex raise it with you, Al? Like, did he say enough's enough? Did he give you an ultimatum or was it purely your decision?
Merci beaucoup.
I love these little bits of French you're dropping in. No, he didn't give me an ultimatum at all. It was entirely my decision to stop drinking. He obviously knew that all the fights that we're having were purely based on, me being drunk, but he was never the type of person to be like, you have to stop drinking. Yeah. So yeah, I came to it myself, but I knew that he wanted me to do it as well, and he knew it was for the best.
Yeah, I can really relate to that period of time when you guys were sober and it was the best time of your relationship. It happened with me and my ex now, 7 months in ISO when we were both sober, and it was the best. It was so pure and there was no fights and it was just, it's such a shame. But anyway.
It is a shame.
Good for you and your new fella, though. We'll hear more about that. Move over. In comes the Aussie.
Oh, honestly,
so
he's great.
Oh, what's his name? We're here now. Let's talk about him. We're here now.
Oh, okay. His name is Carl.
Carl. We love Carl.
Yeah.
Carl with a C, okay.
Carl with a C.
Carl with a C.
Carl's the ultimate sobriety ally. Honestly, I couldn't ask for a better companion to live with, and he's honestly amazing. Honestly, it helps so much as well, like when your partner is supportive. Even though he drinks, he's so supportive. It's honestly amazing.
King Carl, how did you guys meet?
He's not really like that crazy, but he's friends with my sister.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, keeping it in the family. Like it.
So crazy. Yeah. And so my sister was always like, don't touch my younger sister.
Well, now I'm going to.
Yeah, now he does.
On your Carl.
On your King Carl. We are here for it. Oh, thanks. Good on you, Carl. We love that. We love nothing more than partners and family and loved ones that support. Our sobriety journey, it makes all the difference in the world, doesn't it? So, yes, we're here for that. So then you've sort of touched on it a little bit, Al. What did your drinking actually look like?
Yeah, so I guess underage drinking from about 14 to 18 was just binge drinking at parties. My parents are both still doctors, so they always honed into me that, the importance of drinking in moderation, not drinking underage, the damage it can do to your brain. And along with that, they're also very strict parents. So I guess from an early age, you kind of want to rebel the stricter your parents are, and I was no exception. So always sneaking out, going to parties, having a few body cruises and UDLs. And then when I went to uni, it kind of just got worse. The parties got more frequent. I was going out most nights. And then after uni, I kind of stepped into the media PR kind of scene. And then I was going out for, work drinks and media events. Drinking was just like, the cornerstone of my work life, but then also my social life. So, I just got into a pattern of binge drinking. I think like I mentioned before, I have an all or nothing personality. So I didn't really, just have a few social drinks. I always kind of had 10 plus. Yeah, exactly. I think I convinced myself that this is what your 20s are for. And, everyone is out there doing the exact same thing as you. And also, I know this seems like a bit weird to say, but even like 3 or 4 years ago, the sobriety scene wasn't that big in Australia, or at least if you weren't part of it, it was very hard to kind of see that there are options out there for your lifestyle. And so, I just thought, there was no alternative. This is just what you do. But obviously now I know differently.
We so agree. And I guess that's why the whole point of our podcast is to give people option and permission to be able to go, you know what, I don't actually have to drink all the time. So, good.
Yeah, that's awesome what you guys are doing.
Oh, thanks. You. Thanks for being involved.
Yeah,
loving it.
I wish there were more podcasts like this. When I was
listened to us.
Wasted. Yeah.
But it's interesting you say that, Al, because when I had, I woke up one morning with a horrific hangover and couldn't remember putting my kids to bed the night before. And that's when I was like, something's got to change. And I started doing a deep dive into podcasts, and I just started binging sobriety podcasts to keep me on track. And I thought I was the only person in the world that was giving up alcohol. And I'm like, this is a whole thing. This is literally the whole thing. Like I literally thought I was the only person in Australia that was going to give up alcohol for 12 months. Turns out I'm not alone.
There's no universal experience. There's no unique experiences anymore, are there?
Yeah, it's a massive movement now too. It's really taken off, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely a huge movement.
It's actually on trend.
Yeah, exactly. Who would have thought? Like so many celebrities and stuff jumping on board, like Bella Hadid starting her own non-alcoholic range. It's so cool. It's kind of like smoking, like when it goes out of fashion, and we're just at the forefront. Trendsetters,
pioneering the way. Yeah. You mentioned, Al, about drinking at the age of 14, which Mason and I actually spoke about what we thought was the average age of when you first, dip your toe in the water with booze. Yeah. And I reckon we thought 14 seems to be the sweet spot for everyone. Age 14.
Yeah. I mean, anything less than that is like you're in primary school, aren't you?
Yeah. But when you started drinking at that age, and you mentioned you had, strict parents, were you getting drunk, or were you just having a few drinks and getting a bit tipsy, or were you getting like pretty sozzled?
I think my memory is completely cooked because of the alcohol, but I think that I was getting drunk, for what drunk would be at the time. It's a whole different kind of playing field for what drunk looks like when you're, 24, 25, or in your 30s. At the time, I was definitely inappropriately sozzled. Yeah.
You've got 2 sisters, is that right?
Yes.
So were they similar, Al, with their drinking, or was it just, where do you sit in the line of sisters actually?
I'm the baby, so obviously,
you get away with anything.
I get away with anything. I think I'm just really good at sneaking around behind my parents' back. But my older sister was very kind of by the books, didn't want to, hurt my parents. She's very well behaved. She's a good girl. And then my middle sister kind of started pushing the limits a bit. And then, me, I kind of was a free for all. So
just took the lid off.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But I kind of came into drinking purely by myself. Like, it wasn't like my middle sister or anything brought me into it. I actually just started drinking because my friends in year 7, their parents were like buying them alcohol. And I just thought, oh my God, that is so cool. Their parents are so chill. Like, I wish I could have parents like that. And the way their parents justified it to us when we were sitting in the back seat and they were driving us to parties and giving us like UDLs and stuff like that was like, well, if I know where you're getting it from, then it's fine. Which I just think, looking back, is the most like messed up thing because like it's literally just enabling it and making the process of getting alcohol like seamless for 13-year-old people, 14-year-old people.
Did your parents
finally,
drink? Like, do they have booze at home?
they're not big drinkers, and I've never seen my parents drunk, which is pretty crazy. My dad and my mum sometimes will have like a glass of wine with dinner, but that's pretty much
Moderated.
Yeah, big moderators.
Wow.
Yeah.
We don't meet many of them in our life.
We're like, who are these people?
Yeah, I know.
If we could all moderate, it would be okay. Really?
Yeah, honestly, I would love to be able to have like a glass of, alcoholic wine with dinner, but the non-alcoholic wine right now is just so good. Like, I don't think I need to go back to drinking one glass of alcoholic wine with dinner.
Well, when you first initially announced your sobriety journey, did you announce it to the world or did you keep it on the lowdown? And what was the reaction of loved ones with that?
Yes, so I am quite public on like social media. So I did want to put it out there. I didn't want to hide anything, and I also just wanted to make people keep me accountable. If I put it out there and I couldn't slip up, I couldn't post those going out drinking videos. I had to stick to my word. So that was the main reason why I posted on social media. And then the second reason I posted on social media was because at the time I wanted to find kind of like a sober community and see if there are other people out there like me who didn't drink. And slowly but surely, those people came, and I've got some really good sober friends, which is really nice. I love the power of social media. But yeah, also my actual friends in real life before that, like not my social media friends, they were really supportive of me as well. Obviously, party friends slowly kind of disappear, but that's for the best. But your true friends, they stayed and were so supportive of me, and they totally understood why I did it, because they were the ones that were with me on those drunken nights and I was having the fights with, so they were thrilled.
So good.
Yeah.
How long were you when you announced it?
I think I announced it probably like a month in. Like when I did January, and I was like, okay, this is an actual thing now. It's not just a phase, or it's not just a New Year's resolution. I think I'm actually going to stick with this for like a whole year, even see how I go. And so I think I announced it like a month into that. I think my parents were the most shocked, to be honest, just talking about my parents again. Because they were like, they didn't realize how bad it was, or if I really had a problem. Because like I said, I was just sneaking out all the time. So they're like, what? Why are you quitting? Why are you labeling yourself, why are you labeling yourself like a previous alcoholic? You shouldn't do that. And there's lots of stigma around that as well. And so I just kind of like sit there down and have a chat. And I was like, I'm not an alcoholic, just binge drunk. Like you should be happy for me, like that I'm not drinking now, regardless of, your judgment about what I used to be like. And then they were really supportive and happy in the end.
I found that actually, I'm reading Fiona O'Loughlin's book at the moment, and it's quite a common thing. She actually voiced that to her husband at the time that she was an alcoholic, and he said, no, you're not. You're not having vodka for breakfast. So, which she ended up having vodka for breakfast later on. But it's interesting how when you put your hand up and say, I think I've got a problem, or I'm a grey area drinker, I'm a binge drinker or an alcoholic, people kind of soften that a little bit for you and say, no, you're not. Whereas actually saying, no, I am, or I want to remove alcohol from my life. But people push back on it a little bit, don't they? They don't go, oh, yeah, you are.
Absolutely. I think they
give the flick.
Yeah, they absolutely have like good intentions. I think they want to like help you feel better. But at the end of the day, like it's how you define yourself. And I think labeling yourself, if that helps you to kind of make an association between moving forward and who you are now, who you were before, then I think that's all that matters.
Yeah, I think so. We just did an episode about labelling, and I think, it's such a damaging area. But I just think as a whole, if you want to remove alcohol from your life, that's fine. It doesn't need a label. It's just that alcohol isn't serving you anymore. So
totally
get rid of the thing.
Yeah.
Now, we always like to do a little stalk of our guests before they come on in the most respectful way. So we did a deep dive into Instagram.
Not one bit creepy.
No, not one bit creepy.
No, that's so fun. I mean, I put it all out there. Did you see my article yesterday?
I haven't seen it yet. I was too busy stuck on your peanut butter and Bounty biscuit.
Oh, right. The corn dancing.
Yeah. We need to look at that article. What did you have on?
Oh my God. I thought you were going to bring that up, so I thought I'd bring it up before you brought it up.
I reckon I saw it, but I didn't click on it, I think. But do you want to talk about
it? It was about, I mean, not really. I thought that's what you were going to bring up. It was about how my neighbours give me a note under my door. Yeah. You saw it?
I saw it in your story and I'm like,
Yes,
I'll circle back to that. And I hadn't. You've been screaming.
I've been doing a bit of screaming. Yeah.
I didn't see the headline.
Yeah. I'm just glad that it's not, like a massive argument with my partner, It's only some fun screaming.
It's a happy scream. Joyful scream.
Anyway, working at Mamma Mia, thank you. Working at Mamma Mia, though, everything is content. So the next morning, the editors pull me aside and they're like, you need to write about that. So now it's an article. That's out there on the net for everyone to see. But please do tell me what you thought of me.
I was looking at all your reels, but one of the reels that stood out to me was you made an Aperol Spritz slushy, was it?
Yes, I did.
Using Yes You Can drinks and
live. Look at you guys.
So the guys from Yes You Can, I know you're a big fan of Yes You Can. In fact, I'm actually going to crack this can. I've got for our listeners, I've got a can of Yes You Can. They have 3 flavours in their range. So they've got they're ready to drink non-alcoholic spirits. So they come in the G&T. Have you had that one, Al?
I think it's in my fridge right now. Can I go get it?
Go grab
it out. Yum. They are so good. And did you know that they're gluten-free?
You know what, mate? So gluten-free and vegan-free.
Oh, they're all free. They're all the frees that we love so much.
All the frees. Oh, there she goes. Dark and Stormy.
It's the Dark and Stormy, yeah.
I'll share a quick story about the Dark and Stormy. So my sister served this up to her husband when they were having dinner, and he just assumed he was drinking an alcoholic beverage. He thought it was a CC and dry. And after dinner, she said, that was a non-alcoholic spirit. And he's like, he couldn't believe it. And the thing with Yes You Can is they have what's called a flashback, which is the burny bit. So, when you drink an alcoholic drink, you get that burny sensation in the back of your throat. Yes You Can have magically nailed some magical formula, and you get that with all their drinks as well.
Takes a little breath away.
Yeah. Yes. So if you are looking for a drink that does imitate alcohol, because it absolutely does imitate alcohol, Yes You Can is where you want to be at. They have generously given our listeners, listen to this, a whopping 20% off. Yes. Which is massive. It's huge.
I'm going to be all over that.
Yeah, the discount code is, get your pens and papers out, folks. It's boozefree20 and it's valid till the end of July. So it'll get you through dry July. And they've also got another surprise that I'm allowed to sort of hint at. The guys have been working on an advent calendar for dry July. Which is amazing.
That's so cool.
So cool. I actually got one last year in December. It was a beer one. And so every day I'd open it up and be a different non-alcoholic beer. So Yes You Can, working away in the background. And I'm told that some of their new flavours will be in the box.
Few little cameos. Amazing. We love you. Yes You Can.
So thank you, Yes You Can. Their website is www.yesyoucandrinks.com. So go nuts, folks. I'm actually going to jump on board and get a slab.
Me by 3, all 3 flavours. How's the Dark and Stormy there, Al? Down the hatch.
Look, I haven't actually cracked it open yet. I'm still finishing my tea, but I love that you can have, tea and Dark and Stormy at 9:30, and it's totally acceptable.
Isn't that the best?
Yeah.
So getting back to your IG, Al, I love on your bio how you've got I think it's the second or first line, you've got that you're passionate about alcohol-free living. I'm like, go girl, that's so good. You've also made numerous media appearances, UTS Magazine, the Quickie podcast, which one of my friends actually sent that to me, I think it was last year. It was such a good ep. So tell us, what has the response been like from the public and also from your workplace, Mamma Mia?
And there's also the Sydney Morning Herald as well. Sorry. And can I just say I listened to a podcast this morning. Sorry, I'm just chiming in on post-drinking. So Becky's not drinking tonight. I heard that little...
Yeah, that was one of my first podcast appearances.
Look at you go. Do you want to add any others that where you've appeared, Al? Miss Famous?
Booze-free Bants, of course. Now I can add that to the list. Yeah. I love this little dance move you've got going. This is how we party when we're sober.
Up and about.
I've got other moves, Al.
Yeah, okay. I believe you. So what was the question again?
So what was it, because you're so public in your sobriety, what has been the response and also in your workplace with Mamma Mia?
Yeah, so I think there's this kind of fear of when you go sober that everyone's going to rejudge you. But I think with the rise of the non-alcoholic movement, everyone was actually overwhelmingly really supportive and curious. Everyone's becoming also curious and a bit more mindful, and at least in my kind of circles. And so, yeah, there were lots of people who, expressed their support, who reached out to me for tips and tricks on how they can cut down drinking. So, yeah, it was really nice to use my tiny little platform to spark conversations and help people one-on-one kind of let them know how much fun I'm having without alcohol. Because I think that's a huge preconceived idea that you're just going to be really boring and you're going to stay at home as soon as you stop drinking. But I'm a big proponent of still going out. I went to Coachella a couple of weeks ago. Like I don't stop being a party girl just because I'm not drinking. So that's been kind of like my main message on socials, just to show people that I'm still living my life, having fun. And then in the Mamma Mia office, same again, everyone's really supportive and curious and always asking for non-alcoholic recommendations. So I'm kind of like the go-to sober gal in Mamma Mia. So yeah, it's been really great, the support that I've got.
Oh, love that. We love that. And congratulations on all your appearances. It's massive. It's huge.
You're such a strong voice in this community. Because how old are you, Al, if you don't mind me? Ballpark.
Okay, I'm 26. I'm in between 27 and 28. No, I'm 26.
Yeah. Did you say your birthday is coming up?
No. My birthday's in September.
Oh, okay. Happy birthday for September. But such a young age. To give booze the flick, you know. Yeah. Oh, it's extraordinary. Yeah. So well done. So then tell us Al, the highs and lows of your sobriety journey, physically, mentally, all the things. Tell us the highs and the lows.
Oh, my God, where do I start? There's so many highs, so many benefits. But I think the main one was kind of getting in touch with myself, getting a deep kind of self-knowledge, rediscovering yourself. When alcohol is such a formative part of your life, you know, from early adulthood, you kind of don't get a chance to understand who you actually are without alcohol, because, you know, your weekends are punctuated by getting completely sloshed, and then the whole week you're kind of just recovering and then looking forward to the next weekend, and it totally changes who you are. I genuinely think it just rewires your brain and your personality. So I think a high for me was kind of getting to know myself, who I am without alcohol, and rediscovering myself and how adventurous and energetic and weird and quirky and all these things that I had been covering up with my drinking personality. That was definitely a high for me. That was the main high. And then the lows, have you asked me about the lows yet, or am I just jumping into face?
I asked you both. Yep, go for gold.
Okay, great. So a massive low for me was kind of, it's kind of related to the high. So rediscovering who you are without alcohol kind of also means coming to terms with like who you were with alcohol. So a low for me was being honest with myself about the people that I'd hurt, and reaching out to those people to kind of ask for forgiveness. That was kind of a low for me. It was kind of confronting and a bit ego destroying to kind of realize that you were a pretty bad person. But yeah, I've kind of come to terms with that now. I feel like I've done a bit of damage control. But yeah, that was a low for me, but really important in the big scheme of my journey.
I think that's so profound. Like, it takes a huge person to step up and reflect on your behaviour previously, and when it's doused in booze and you've blacked out, you can't even remember what you've done. So how can you apologise for shit you've done that you can't even remember, but you know you've hurt people? Like, it's really difficult. It's really confronting because you're not that person. The alcohol is making you be a dickhead.
Yeah. I don't think you can actually get to that kind of self-reflection when you are drinking. No. I think you need that sober kind of clarity to really see it for what it is. I feel like when you're drinking, you're just in denial and you just, pass it off as just a drunk night, not actually who you are when you're in that kind of toxic cycle of drinking. But when you take that out of the equation, you can kind of be like, it totally changed me as a person. I actually looked into this thing called dual drunk personality, and it's this theory that you can just entirely change your personality when you're drunk. And it's more than just being like a bad drunk. It actually like, turns you into a completely different person with different personality traits. And I have to be honest with you, like my drunk personality, it was moody, it was bitchy, it was, angry, it was sad, emotional. It was nothing good. There was no fun moments for me when I was drunk. I tried to look back on my those 10 years of drinking and think like, did I actually have any good nights out when I was drunk that I had like, lifelong memories for? And I couldn't think of any really. Like there were fleeting moments before you kind of cross the line, but no like nights as a whole where I'm like, hey, alcohol is really, making me have a fun time. So when I looked at that theory about the dual drunk personality, I just realized that I need to escape this before, something really bad happens.
I've never heard of that.
No, I haven't heard of that. It's really speaking to me.
I'm going to Google that.
It was because I was horrendous. I was so aggressive when I was drunk and loud and in your face and, thought I was happy and joyful. But there were people that would say to me, you're so aggressive. I'm like, no, I'm not. But really, I just want to fight everyone.
Totally.
And we speak about that. There's that window of like a few hours where everything's unreal, but there's a small snippet. And then the payoff to that small snippet is blacking out, feeling crap the next day, being tired the day after that, and all these emotions, and just you're not a good person. That shame, anxiety, all that comes with it as well, just from that couple of hours of awesomeness. Whereas you could have that the whole time with your sobriety. Another thing that we talk about often on the potty, Al, is the emotions that you feel when you're sober. Like you can't, because Meso and I, like we recognise now that we used to numb our emotions with booze, but we can't do that now. So you've got to feel all those emotions. Have you experienced, is that something you've experienced, and how have you worked through it?
100%. I think a lot of the reason why I drank was because I didn't want to think about anything that was going on in my life. And that will come out in picking fights with people about things, when actually I should just have like clear, concise conversations with them about how I feel. It's definitely helped all my relationships, friendships, and romantic. Have frank, honest conversations with people, and my communication's definitely gotten better. And I find other coping mechanisms to deal with my emotions now, which are much more therapeutic and much more effective in the long run. Like going for a goddamn walk. Like, why didn't I think of that? Instead of just, downing some vodka sodas. It is so bizarre that we just use this drug so willy-nilly to numb our emotions and our feelings.
And you've created a little hiking club.
I know, it's so wholesome, right?
I love it. I want to see that halo. Yeah.
Wholesome queen. Myself 3 years ago would look at me now and be like, who is this person? Honestly, hiking on a Sunday morning? No chance.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, no, it's really fun. I just wanted to meet kind of like-minded people that were interested in doing, wholesome activities on the weekends, because they're my people, they're the people that you want to hang out with when you're sober.
How did you start that, Elle? How did you start that?
I literally just put a social media post out. I was like, who wants to, I think it was an Instagram story, kind of one of those question stick polls. And I was like, who wants to join my hiking club? And I got like a 65 responses or something. I was like, wow, this is awesome. But it's obviously like coming off the back of COVID, and I could only have like a small kind of number of people in the club. So started small, but I'm looking at making it more frequent so more people can join.
That's so good.
I need to start one.
Yeah. You guys should come. Are you guys in Sydney?
No, we're in Melbourne and Bendigo.
Oh.
Yeah. But there's direct flights from Bendigo to Sydney. So maybe I'll just jump on a Qantas flight and stay up there.
Maybe I'll have someone down there as like the hike club. I know Sammy Wilson's from down in Victoria, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe I'll chat to her and she can be the sober hiking person down there.
I love it.
We could do a whole podcast about your trip to America that you've recently had, because I love, like, New York, most magical city in the world. The times that I have travelled to America have been very boozy trips. So I wish you wore a GoPro the whole time so I could actually see what it was like. Actually, no, I had one sober trip because I was pregnant. So I was 20 weeks pregnant when I went back in 2012, I think it was. But New York, tell us, did you discover any alcohol-free drinks over there, and what is it like over there compared to Australia? The alcohol-free movement, alcohol-free drinks. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, I'm a massive foodie, and coming from a foodie background, like what goes with food is drinking. So I was really hoping that there was going to be some good non-alcoholic options over in America, and I was definitely not disappointed. I think they're slightly ahead of the curve than in Australia, but Australia's not too far behind. So I went to some non-alcoholic bottle shops over there, but we also have non-alcoholic bottle shops here. I went to, the best bar in the world in New York, allegedly, that's like it's been named that, called Dante, and had a liar's spritz. And I was just like, this is amazing that the best bar in the entire world in New York has non-alcoholic options. Like 5 years ago, they would have a mocktail or, a club soda or something. So that was really awesome to see. But yeah, they have a big kind of movement for like functional drinks over there, I found. So we're kind of getting a bit of that in Australia too, but lots more.
What are they? Sorry, Al, what was it? Functional drinks.
I'm not 100% like well versed on the science of it, but they're kind of drinks that are supposed to give you a bit of a buzz. So they actually have things in them like adaptogens and nootropics. I don't know if you know Bella Hadid's brand Kin.
Heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of chills you out. They have one that's like one for sleepy time. I think it's called sleepy time or something. And then one that like perks you up, so it makes you a bit more chatty. It makes you a bit more sociable. Totally natural.
Wow,
yeah.
I've never heard of these drinks.
Yeah, I'll have to send you the names of them. And then what else do they have over there that they don't have over here? They have a lot of things that I've seen like on websites and stuff like that, but the shipping is just so high from America. So it was cool to just actually go to shops and buy them, and just I think my whole suitcase was filled with them on the way back. I got these little things called like Jukes. Have you heard of them? They're like little they're like this small. They're little bottles of. I feel like I should like show and tell. Can I do that?
Yeah.
We're on a podcast, so
no. We can describe it. We're on YouTube as well. To our watchers on YouTube,
watching.
You're about to get a little treat.
I love it. The show and tell from the holiday.
And your trip would have been similar, Maso, with America.
Yeah, it was.
So boozy.
Well, that was like 10, 12 years ago. So yeah, I'd always ask for just hot water at the end of a meal, and they were like, what? They didn't get it. Like,
is this when you were not drinking?
Yeah.
Because you did do a trip without booze, didn't you?
Correct, yeah. Yeah. What you got there, Al?
What you got, Al?
So, sorry to the podcast people. This is the white box.
Yeah.
Has Jukes on the top. Trying to explain to the podcast people. And there's these little bottles like this.
Oh, how cool.
And they're little like wine, like how do you describe it? Like concentrated wine cordials that you pour into water, basically, or like sparkling water, and it just turns into wine. It's literally turning water into wine.
Oh, there's a whole deck. Is there 9?
Yeah.
Is there 9 in the box?
Yeah, there's 9.
Super.
And they're non-alcoholic.
Super cool. They're non-alcoholic.
Are they 50 mil, like the size that you get in your mini bar?
Yeah, they look like a mini bar drink, don't they?
Yeah,
but
they're just super portable. Yeah, so you can just bring them to dinner and just pour it into your glass dinner when you're out to.
I love them.
Yeah.
What would the flavour be like?
I haven't actually tried it. You know, when you buy a nice non-alcoholic drinks, you just want to like save it for good. I don't want to open it.
Crack one now, Al. Go on, crack one now.
No, I think I'll save it for a picnic or something.
So cool.
For a party. Yeah, and then this is the Kin thing that I was talking about.
Oh, you've got a bottle of that. Nice.
Got a bottle of that. So that's it said lifted mind, relaxed body, kindred spirits.
And do you drink it straight, or do you mix that with water as well?
It's you can drink it straight, or you can put it in and mix up. But yeah, it says it has balancing adaptogens, replenishing nootropics, and nourishing botanics. It helps to spark conscious connection in social gatherings after dark. Oh, so I think this is like the future of non-alcoholic drinks, because we still want to have that, buzz, that kind of relaxing feeling that you get with alcohol. So why should we miss out?
You have to tell us. You have to tell us what they taste like when you crack them.
I will.
Story that, and tag us like crazy.
Yeah,
they are so cool. Al, love those.
I think the main thing that I also drank for was my social anxiety. Because I just knew that when I had a few drinks, I would just be chill and I could talk to anyone, and all those fears would kind of dispel. But yeah, drinks like this kind of reassure me that there's something for us still. But also, there's like this newfound confidence when you stop drinking, right? That you actually just want to talk to everyone anyway.
That was my next question, Al. I was about to say, do you feel more confident walking to a room and networking or chatting to people? You just answered my question.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. I feel like you guys know Melissa from It's Not Meant Booze?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She said this thing to me.
She's coming on the podcast.
Oh, amazing. She's wonderful. She said this thing once, and it was sobriety gave me the confidence that I was always looking for with alcohol. And I think that just really is so true, because this whole time when you're drinking, you're just, you're relying on the alcohol to give you this amazing confidence. But if you just take it out of the equation, then you get what you're after the whole time. And it's such a high, and it's so exciting to like ride that wave of confidence that you get when you're sober. It's like such a novelty as well. And I feel like the novelty still hasn't worn off for me, that I'm excited to go to parties sober because I just feel freaking awesome. And, I just...
and you'll still look awesome when you leave. You won't have fake eyelash coming down and, scar running.
Yeah, holding your heels. Yeah, you can leave whenever you want and you can drive home. It's honestly the best.
Yeah. And calls it a superpower.
A superpower, yeah. And I found, because I go to a few events with my work too, Al, and I was finding that when I was drinking, I'd go and, speak to someone. I'd be like, okay, watch what you're saying because you're a little bit sozzled and da-da-da. And then it'd make me like just talk crap to them. Whereas now being sober, I can just be a boss and just own it. Yes. And not have to worry about, oh, God, what am I going to say? And da-da-da. And what did I say? I'm just like, bang, just like it's happening.
Exactly. And I think often like addressing the fact that you're sober can also be kind of like a conversation starter and break the ice anyway. So there's always that to rely on as well. Like in the beginning of my sobriety journey, I was just like, I'm not drinking, and then they'd ask questions and then the conversation kind of flows. And so it kind of gets rid of any of those kind of awkward moments that you think you're going to have.
So true.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, then tell us, can you share with the listeners then your tips and tricks, quit lit? What have you found that's been really helpful that you can share with the listeners when they're embarking on their sober journey? What's your go-to?
Yeah, so I actually didn't read any quit lit, but you just got to find what works for you, I guess. So for me, I turned straight to Instagram because that's kind of where I get my information from. And so a big part in the beginning of my sobriety journey was this account called Sober Girl Society. It's this girl, she's amazing, this girl, Millie Gooch in the UK. And she kind of had a similar story to me. I think she was a similar age to me. She was a party girl, worked in media. And then she just was the first person that I kind of saw that looked like they were actually genuinely having a great time after quitting alcohol in a really fun and authentic and young way. So I would highly recommend the audience to follow Millie and Sober Girl Society. So that was a good start for me. And then I think we've already mentioned this, but just always have good non-alcoholic drinks in hand, because that's going to really counteract the FOMO that you could have.
What are your favourites?
Yeah.
Besides Yes You Can, besides Altina, what's your favourites?
My favourites, Lies, obviously. They also give you that kind of back of throat burn. And they've just come out with a whiskey as well, which is really yummy.
I've heard that.
Yeah. And then my favourite non-alcoholic wine I do love a bit is the Premium Barossa Shiraz from Plus and Minus. Have you guys tried it?
Sure. No. I've tried the plus and minus, but so they're Shiraz.
So they just put out this Premium Barossa Shiraz. It's got like this black label. It's a bit fancy, but it generally tastes like better than any alcoholic red that I've ever had. And I'm not even lying. I'm not even pretending. It's not a placebo. It genuinely is amazing. I've given it to my friends and they're like, this tastes like the real deal. Hands down, it's amazing.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes for that, Al, because I have not found I found an okay Shirazes, but not like this is good. This is great.
It would change your world. I want you to like live feel yourself when you taste it. Honestly, it would change your world. I know, because when
do you aerate them for a period of time before you hook in, or you just lid off, pour?
Straight in. Yeah. Okay. No one has time for that. Do you do that?
I was doing that just because they
Love
do taste better. They, like the non-alc reds that I was trying, I found that if they were aerated for a long period of time, like I'm talking, you needed to be prepped like the day before for the night, for the next night type thing.
Right.
They definitely did taste better. And look, I wasn't that organised all the time, but there were occasions that I was, and they definitely tasted better. So
Cool.
I'm really keen. I'm actually going to jump online and find a bottle of that because
Get some plus and minus.
we're coming up to winter and we're in winter, and talk to me, Shiraz.
Exactly. You just want to have a nice glass of wine on the couch or over a romantic dinner, that really hits the spot. Other things that helped me on my sobriety journey was not being afraid to bring activities along to gatherings. I know that sounds really nerdy.
Love it.
But you mentioned in the intro that I am a conversation card queen, and you're not wrong. I have 15 decks of conversation cards. And it's not because I can't make conversation. I mean, maybe I can't. I don't know. It really just gets into the deep questions that people are too afraid to ask at parties. But everyone just wants to have a good time and have social connection and have good chats. And this just makes it a whole lot easier without being the weird person that's just tell me about your childhood. You have these cards to kind of say that for you. So that's really fun. And people love it, even people who are drinking. It's really great. And then also just make sure, as well as going out, and doing the stuff you did before you stop drinking, going to bars and stuff like that. It's okay to also just do sober activities. You're not missing out. Start a hiking club, do some yoga, do things with your friends away from drinking, organise a walk instead of, going to catch up over cocktails, go to the movies, go to a theatre, anything. I think that really helped as well, kind of fill my cup.
Some great
I love
advice
that.
there.
They're so good. Which
So
then,
good.
Elle, was there anything else you wanted to share before we sneak into the Quizmaster random fun quickfire questions?
I think we've covered so much stuff.
I was gonna throw another suggestion out there to you, Al. Have you had the Altina Sans Gria? Maso's got some.
haven't.
Maso's got a can there.
That.
She's drinking that, and there's a bottle behind her. It's amazing. And they've actually just brought out a mulled, well, not just, they've got a mulled wine
one in the post for you.
pack as well. Yes, there is one in the post, isn't there?
That would be so good, especially in time for winter.
It's so good. Bloody, and I know so many people who love it, the Sansgria. It's spot on.
So good. So good.
All right. So we've come to our Quizmaster questions. Now, Al, this is going to be right up your alley because look what I have.
What's that? I haven't seen that one.
So this is actually made in Bendigo. It's my friend's sister. And it's
cool.
called, so for our listeners, it is called The Art of Conversation, and they're conversation cards. So we're not going to have a full conversation here. We're just going to do rapid fire. So I've got
Okay.
But
I'll try and not jump around and
okay. You're on a timer, okay? No.
okay, tell me to shut up if I
I'll just cut you off.
It's a whole podcast on its own.
So yeah, it's called The Art of Conversation, and they're gorgeous. Actually, I was in Dalesford, which is about an hour from Bendigo, on a weekend. They had them in their bookshop. So that's cool.
Beautiful. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah. So first one, can you remember the first record or CD you bought?
Missy Higgins.
Oh, nice choice.
Love it.
Like
Scar.
Yeah,
classic.
Loved her.
Your idea of a great day out.
Oh, packing a really gourmet kind of picnic lunch and going for a hike and then swimming in a watering hole and a skinny dip.
Really calm.
Yeah, big nudie swim for us gals.
Love it. Okay, what's the best party you've held, been to, or heard about?
Well, I'm going to be arrogant and say it's a party that I had. I had a 6-month sobriety party for myself.
Yay! Love that.
I just made everyone sit in a circle and say things they liked about me being sober. It was great.
That's so good. That's another brilliant idea for our listeners. That is the best. Good on you.
That is
Right,
gold.
final two. Okay, this is a bit of a dark question, but I'll finish on a positive one. What do you think happens after death?
Stop me. I think we just rot in the ground. I mean, what do you expect when you ask a dark question, you guys?
I love it.
I wish I could say that we turn into fairy dust, but let's be real.
We're rotting, everyone. You've heard it first.
Yeah. We're rotting. I'm not a spiritual person.
Right. So I'd be like, we go up to the spirits and then we come back in the afterlife. Tell us who the most positive person you've ever known or met is.
The most positive person I've ever known or met was probably my grandma. She's no longer with us, but she never said a bad word about anyone. Like, she didn't even have a sneaky gossip or a sneaky bitch. She was just a ray of sunshine. And I really aspire to be like her. But look, sometimes I can't help it, you know. But I'm trying to be a better person, and I'm trying to gossip less. So yeah, she's definitely my idol in that regard. She's the best.
Oh, what's
got
her
that
name?
self-awareness.
Yeah.
Her name is Nola.
Nola. Rest in peace, Nola.
Rest in peace. She's
Cheers
a queen.
to Nola.
Yeah.
Cheers to Nola.
Cheers.
Cheers to Nola. Oh, yes, love that.
I've got another one here I didn't show you. This is
That's a cool one.
alcohol-free. It's another functional drink. Is this backwards or can you see this in the workout?
Now I can see it.
Oh,
That's
what's
cool.
that?
Bon Buzz.
Yeah. Bon Buzz. Slow burn.
You
It has jalapeno in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's good.
That got us going straight up.
Yeah.
You've got a fair little stash.
I was going to say, you literally weren't lying when you said you had a whole suitcase full of drinks in your bag.
Honestly, I know. I had to pay $300 for the extra one on my back.
Totally worth it.
That's it. Yeah.
I love it. I've got a quick question that I wanted to ask actually, just before we get into Tech Script Breezer, if that's okay.
Oh, okay.
Before the Jennifer Aniston salad that got 2.4 million views, like it went barango. Did you just lose your mind with that?
I did. I just thought, like, that is not like one. You know, when you made a good video, you're like, this one's going to go up. That was not one that I thought it was going to go up. It's always the unexpected ones with the bad lighting.
Don't you reckon? Like, yeah. So
people are just obsessed with her as well.
Yeah. Everyone loves Jen.
It's great.
She is great. So you've got the hot cross bun chips, the hot cross bun martini. What has been your favourite food? Like, you are a hardcore foodie, and we drool over your entire content. It's like, what's your favourite food?
Oh, thanks. My favourite food ever, or my favourite food like that I've made for Instagram?
Both.
Okay, well,
They're greedy.
Yeah, fair enough. My favourite food ever is olives, because I'm a great gal. I could eat a tub of them, like, you know, the ones you get from the deli, Coles. I could just smash them. But my favourite food that I've made from Instagram was probably this giant air fryer rosti. It's like a potato cake. I'm obsessed with my air fryer, and it's just like a giant hash brown. It is so yummy.
Yum.
All right, we're going to have to go and have a look at that. I'm going to go and find it because my partner's got an air fryer. So I'm going to go and find that recipe.
I'm going to go buy an air fryer.
So I actually don't have a text script because I actually always just lost my phone before I got a chance to send something regrettable. Yeah, if I was like that. Yeah, if I was that drunk to send a bad text, then I probably would have lost my phone. Yeah.
Do you know what?
It's actually genius.
Yeah, that is actually genius. But losing your phone drunk is such a thing, isn't it?
Oh,
like
totally.
Most of us have our lives on our phones, and we just lose it.
Yeah, or drop it down the toilet or anything.
Oh, yeah, the back pocket.
I haven't lost one phone since I quit drinking. Funny that.
Yes, that's unreal.
Life is in order. I love it.
Life is in order.
It's time for the recommendation of the week.
I went to Sydney's first on a hot bar last week.
That looks so good. Is it Brighton Sands?
Brighton Sands.
Yes.
It was amazing. It's called Sydney Sundays. Everyone should go check it out. Bring your favourite friends. Have a drink. It is honestly just like a real bar. Like, it feels like you're going out to a real bar. And they've got amazing non-alcoholic drinks. They've got a bottle shop there. Got really nice bar staff that just chat to you the whole night. It honestly was a great night out. So
that
fun.
Is so cool. We used to stay at Brighton Sands because I used to work for Virgin Australia, and we used to stay at Brighton on overnights. It's so nice down there.
It's so nice by the beach. Such a good vibe.
Yeah, that's amazing. We can't wait to get there. We'll have to do a little cameo there.
Yes, let me know when you guys are in Sydney and we'll go there.
Sounds like a plan.
Great recos. Well, Al where do we find you? Al, tell us all your handles and where we find you.
So you can find me on Instagram. It is L_Katelaris, EL_KATELARIS. And that's pretty much the only place where I am.
And we're going to share, we'll tag you up and share the crap out of it on our socials as well. Because it's such a joyous Instagram account. I have to say, like, it's such a positive, happy, I drool every time I see your photos of the food. It's just a really up and about positive vibe. So thank you. I love it.
We love you. We love you. We love King Carl and your, what are we calling you? Al Screamer.
Al Screamer.
You're screaming.
Oh dear, I'm not proud of that. Oh no, look, I'm proud of it, but it's still a bit embarrassing, when your neighbours send you a note about it.
We've all been there. They didn't need to send you a note.
Look, I didn't put this in the article, but it was actually the second time. But we got a note a couple of months ago, actually, and I think this one was just kind of they got their partner to write it, so it's different handwriting. But we know it's the people upstairs. Anyway.
Let a girl have a good time. We honestly, we so appreciate your time and you coming on here today and filling our cups.
Filling our cups massively.
You've been just an absolute cracker. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.
This podcast is proudly produced by our audio engineer, music extraordinaire, Eric Ladd.
We love you, Eric.